Okay, so because of me not being very well, this isn't as timely as I would like it to be, and because of what I'm going to talk about, it's definitely not comedy. This is definitely a freaking rant. So this is going to be a freebie. It's a little bonus video because I just feel so strongly about this. This is maybe arguably the least feminist thing I've ever said. This is something that you would never expect to hear from a feminist, but it's just about the state of play right now in the UK. If you are raped, my recommendation to you is this: don't report it. Isn't that outrageous? Isn't that disgusting? Isn't that something that women should never tell other women? I mean, of course, if you're a victim of a crime and you feel that it would help your recovery to go and tell the police about the situation, of course, you should do what you think is best. But before you do, listen to this. Reporting rape to the police has always been a traumatic experience. We know that the police have a history of not believing women, of not listening to women, of trying to blame them. We know that women have had their personal lives, their sexual history dragged across the coals. We know that this has been the history of it. And the latest development is this. The police are now saying that if you go to them and report that you've been raped, they will only pursue your case if you immediately hand over and unlock your mobile phone. Right? So that they can go through everything on your mobile phone to try and look for any evidence that might discredit you and cause problem on their case, right? And first of all, it's a massive intrusion of privacy. Every single one of us has something on our phone that we're frankly mildly embarrassed about, even if it's just like a screenshot we took of, well, probably you took a screenshot of something because you thought it was awful and you were going to send it to your friend, or you saved a dick pic that somebody sent you because you thought it was kind of weird and you wanted to show it to somebody because it made you laugh, or like, there's a million things on my phone that I don't want the police going through and making assumptions about. Secondly, so what if I sent someone a message telling them to come round and have sex with me? So what if I told them I was super excited about having sex with them? So what if I graphically described all the sexual activities that I wanted to do with them? So what if there was some weird kinky shit on that list? If they showed up and I said no, the answer's still no. You have the right to withdraw your consent at any time. You can even say no after you've started having sex and somebody still needs to stop having sex with you. So what's in my phone is super frickin' irrelevant to whether or not I consented to have sex with this person. And 99% of rape, or whatever it is, a huge percentage of rape, is acquaintance rape. The amount of people who are raped by strangers with whom they've not previously communicated is extremely low. So these days, most of us meet people on dating apps, on hookup apps. So there's absolutely the norm that people have sent you a message saying, what kind of stuff are you into? And you will have messaged them back, telling them what kind of stuff you're into, so that if you do get on and things go well, you know that you're sexually compatible. You might well have sent some pictures over. None of that is consent. None of that is consent. And for the police to suggest that they somehow have a right to dig through all this stuff to provide context to the case and so on and so forth is super fucking disgusting. If there is something that you've sent to somebody that suggests that you're providing blanket consent, which incidentally you still can't do, it's not even a thing you can do, then the person who is accused will have received that message. If they really believe that you've sent a message that influences their view of whether or not you consent, they've got that message. Why not go to the alleged perpetrators and take their phones and see what information they are working on that might suggest that you've consented? Why not inconvenience them? Why? And thirdly, you take my phone away, I don't have a job. This is where all my work is on this phone. All my contacts are here. When work comes in, they ring me. An hour ago, 5Live rang me about doing a newspaper review. This is where if you take this phone away from me, all my dates for my diary are stored in here. All my scheduled work is stored in here. Everything is in here. All my notes and stuff is in here. You're taking away my right to do my job. And they're saying that they're doing it because a number of relatively high-profile cases have recently broken down after the defence got hold of historic text messages and used them as evidence to suggest that the woman was consenting. And what we need to be doing is not confiscating women's phones, but making it clear to juries that historic text messages are not evidence of consent. That's not how it works. And what we need the police to stop doing is buying into this lie that a text message constitutes consent and starting to instead be clear with jurors that's not how it works, that consent is something that has to be given at the time. It's continuous, it's informed, Even if you've sent a text message saying you're really up for it, if you show up rolling drunk, you then can no longer give consent. This is how it works. We need to start educating people. And until we do, the only thing I can suggest is like, don't bother reporting, because your life will be shredded for months and months and months because you won't be able to work and all of this intrusive stuff will be happening. They're bound to dig something embarrassing up on your phone because we all have embarrassing stuff. Why not get the perpetrators' phones and dig up the embarrassing shit in the back of their phone? Why not go through their internet history and see what vile things they've been looking at and see whether that colours our opinion of whether or not they're the sort of person who would go around raping people. At heart, the problem here is that the police and the CPS do not understand what rape is and how it works. And we need specialists. We need to talk to charities like Juries, who have been advocating for years and years and years to deal with rape and sexual violence cases in a better and more efficient way, and a way that puts victims first. And what the police are doing right now is they're treating women as though women are somehow collateral damage in the war on rape, as if rape is something that is done by this tiny minority of nasty men, and us, the good guys, us, those righteous boys in blue, need to go around sorting it out and tracking down the tiny number of perpetrators. But it's not like that. Women are not collateral damage in the war on rape. Women are the victims of the war on rape. And if we're going to combat rape, what we have to do is put the victims of it first. Looking after them has to be our number one priority. And that means letting them keep their phones. Obviously. There we go. Rant. / rant over.